You're sitting at the dinner table. Your family's talking about your future like it's already written. So when are you gonna settle down? You taking over the family business? Why aren't you married yet? When are we getting grandkids? You're still doing that art thing. And you're sitting there, smiling, nodding, dying inside. Because the life they want for you. It's not the life you want for yourself. But here's the thing, they're not trying to hurt you. They genuinely believe this is what's best. They followed the path. Their parents followed the path. And now it's your turn. Except, you don't want the path. You want something different. Something true to who you actually are. And that creates the most painful conflict a human can experience. Do you honor your family? Or do you honor yourself? Today, we're diving into the psychology of truth versus tradition. And why choosing yourself might be the hardest, and most important, thing you ever do. This isn't about one culture or one type of family. This is universal. Maybe it's your parents expecting you to be a doctor when you want to be a musician. Maybe it's religious expectations when you stopped believing years ago. Maybe it's the family business you're supposed to take over when your passion is somewhere else. Maybe it's getting married and having kids when you're not even sure you want that. Maybe it's staying close to home when your soul is calling you somewhere else. Different details, same pain, the people you love most want you to be someone you're not. And the worst part? They think they're helping. They think they're protecting you. They think tradition equals safety, and breaking tradition equals disaster. But here's what they don't understand, you can't live a full life in someone else's blueprint. You can try. Millions of people do. But eventually, that misalignment will destroy you. So let's break down what's really happening when truth and tradition collide. Here's something wild, most people never choose who they become. They inherit it. From the moment you're born, you're absorbing messages about who you should be. Not explicitly, nobody sits you down and says, here's your life script. But it's happening constantly. Your parents' values become your values. Their fears become your fears. Their dreams become your dreams. Or at least, you think they're your dreams. Psychologists call this introjection, when you absorb beliefs and expectations from your environment without consciously choosing them. They just become part of your identity. Success means a stable job. Family comes first, always. Don't rock the boat. This is how we've always done things. What will people think? These aren't just suggestions. These are identity foundations. And by the time you're old enough to question them, they feel like truth. They feel like you. Except they're not you. They're who you were taught to be. And here's where it gets complicated, some of those inherited values, they might actually align with who you are. Some traditions might genuinely resonate with you. But some don't. And figuring out which is which, what's authentically yours versus what's just programming, that's the work. Most people never do that work. They live their whole lives following a script they never agreed to, defending traditions they never chose, pursuing goals they never wanted. And then they pass that same script to their kids. Generation after generation, living inherited lives. But why is it so hard to break free? Why do intelligent, capable adults stay trapped in lives that don't fit them? One word, guilt. And families, especially traditional families, are experts at wielding it. After everything we sacrificed for you, this is how you repay us. We didn't come to this country so you could throw away your culture. Your grandmother would be so disappointed. Family sticks together. What's wrong with you? You're being selfish. And here's the thing, they believe it. They're not being manipulative, most of the time. They genuinely feel hurt. Betrayed. Confused. Because in their worldview, love equals conformity. If you love us, you'll do what we expect. If you break tradition, you're rejecting us. They can't separate who you are from what you do. So when you choose a different path, it feels like you're choosing to hurt them. And you're stuck in an impossible position. Because you love them. They're your family. They did sacrifice for you. They do want the best for you, or at least, what they think is best. So when they express disappointment, it cuts deep. Really deep. Psychologists call this enmeshment, when family boundaries are so blurred that one person's choices feel like a betrayal to everyone else. Your life isn't just yours, it's theirs too. And the guilt they project? You internalize it. Maybe I am being selfish. Maybe I should just do what they want. Maybe my dreams don't matter as much as family peace. Maybe I'm the problem. But here's the truth they won't tell you, and you need to hear: choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. You're not responsible for living your parents' unlived lives. You're not responsible for fulfilling their regrets. You're not responsible for making them happy at the cost of your own authenticity. That guilt they're handing you, you don't have to carry it. Even if they insist you do. So what happens when you choose tradition over truth? When you live the life you're supposed to live instead of the life you want? Short term, you get peace. Your family's happy. No conflict. No guilt trips. Everyone's proud of you. You're doing it right. And for a while, that feels good. You've made everyone happy. You're a good son, good daughter, good family member. But long term, you pay a price. A big one. You wake up at 30, 40, 50 years old and realize, I don't know who I am. I've been playing a role so long, I forgot there was a person underneath. You're successful by everyone else's standards, but you feel empty. You have the career your parents wanted, the spouse that fits, the life that looks good on paper. But it doesn't feel good. Because it's not yours. This is what psychologists call identity foreclosure, when you commit to an identity without ever exploring alternatives. You become who you're supposed to be without ever asking who you actually are. And the really messed up part? You can't even complain about it. Because everyone around you is like, what are you unhappy about? You have everything. And you're like, I know. That's the problem. I have everything except myself. The resentment builds. Sometimes toward your family for pressuring you. Sometimes toward yourself for folding. Sometimes toward life itself. You look at people living authentically and feel jealous. Angry. Must be nice to just do what you want. But here's the brutal truth, they're not lucky. They just chose differently. They chose truth over tradition. And they're paying a different price, the price of family disapproval, cultural judgment, going against the grain. Both paths have costs. But only one path lets you actually be yourself. Here's the question that cuts through all the noise: when you're 80 years old, looking back on your life, what will you regret more? Following your truth and dealing with family disappointment? Or following tradition and never knowing who you could have been? Because real talk, nobody on their deathbed says, I wish I'd lived more according to other people's expectations. They say the opposite. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That's the number one regret of the dying, according to palliative care nurses who've recorded thousands of final reflections. Not, I wish I'd worked harder. Not, I wish I'd made more money. Not even, I wish I'd spent more time with family. It's, I wish I'd been myself. Because at the end, when you're facing the reality that your time is up, all the external validation disappears. Your parents' approval doesn't matter anymore. Cultural expectations don't matter. What people thought of you doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, did I live my life? Or did I live someone else's? And if the answer is, someone else's, that's a pain nothing can fix. Not money. Not success. Not even family love. Because you lost yourself. And you don't get another chance. Now, here's the other side of this: if you choose authenticity, if you break tradition, your family might be disappointed. They might not understand. They might even reject you for a while. But you know what? They're not on your deathbed. You are. They're not living with your regrets. You are. They're not stuck in a life that doesn't fit them. You are. So whose disappointment is worse to live with? Theirs or yours? That's the question. And only you can answer it. Alright, so how do you actually do this? How do you choose truth over tradition without destroying your family relationships or losing yourself in guilt? Here's the framework. Step 1. Separate your identity from their expectations. This is the foundation. You need to get crystal clear on who you are versus who you were taught to be. Make a list. 2 columns. Column A, what I was taught to value/want/be. Column B, what I actually value/want/am. Where do they align? Great, keep those. Where do they conflict? That's where the work is. You're not rejecting your family. You're clarifying yourself. Step 2, accept that you can't make everyone happy. This is brutal but necessary. You can't live authentically and meet everyone's expectations. You have to choose. And if you choose authenticity, some people will be disappointed. That's not your failure. That's just reality. Your job isn't to make everyone happy. Your job is to live with integrity. Step 3, communicate from love, not rebellion. When you tell your family you're choosing a different path, don't make it about rejecting them. Make it about honoring yourself. Not, your way is wrong. But, I need to try my own way. Not, you never understood me. But, I'm discovering who I am, and it's different than we thought. Come from love, even when you're setting boundaries. Because anger creates walls. Love creates bridges. Step 4, set boundaries, not ultimatums. You don't need to cut off your family. You just need to stop letting them dictate your life. I love you, and I'm making this choice. I hear your concerns, and I'm moving forward anyway. I understand you're disappointed, and I'm still doing this. Boundaries aren't mean. They're necessary for authentic relationships. Step 5, build your own support system. Breaking from tradition is lonely. You need people who get it. Who support your truth. Who won't guilt trip you. Find your people. Chosen family. Friends who celebrate your authenticity. Communities that value. Now let's be real about something. Tradition isn't the enemy. Some traditions are beautiful. Some cultural values are worth keeping. Some family practices are meaningful and grounding. The problem isn't tradition itself. It's blind tradition. Following something just because that's how it's always been done, without asking if it still serves you. Healthy tradition says, this is our heritage. Take what resonates, adapt what doesn't, and create your own version. Toxic tradition says, this is the only way. If you deviate, you're wrong and will shame you. See the difference? One honors the past while allowing for growth. The other worships the past at the expense of the present. You can respect your culture without being imprisoned by it. You can love your family without living their unlived dreams. You can honor where you came from without being defined by it. It's not all or nothing. It's discernment. Choosing what's truly yours to keep and releasing what never was. And here's what's wild, when you do this, when you live authentically while honoring what genuinely resonates, you often end up creating better traditions. Traditions based on choice, not obligation. Traditions based on love, not fear. Traditions based on who you actually are, not who you're supposed to be. And those traditions? Those are the ones worth passing down. So what does life look like on the other side of this choice? Honestly, it's not perfect. Some family relationships might be strained. Some people might never fully understand. You might face judgment from your community. But you know what else is true? You wake up and recognize yourself in the mirror. You pursue work that actually means something to you. You build relationships based on who you are, not who you're pretending to be. You stop living in constant internal conflict between what you want and what you should want. You breathe easier. Think clearer. Feel more alive. Because pretending takes energy. Massive amounts of energy. Energy you can now use to actually live. And here's the really beautiful part, your authenticity gives other people permission to be authentic too. Your younger siblings, your cousins, the next generation, they watch you break free and they think, maybe I can too. You become proof that it's possible. That choosing yourself doesn't destroy everything. That truth is worth the risk. You might lose some people. But you gain yourself. And honestly, that's the only trade that matters. Because you only get one life. One chance to be who you actually are. And spending it being who you're supposed to be. That's not living. That's just existing. Going through the motions. Checking boxes on someone else's list. And you deserve more than that. So here's your choice. You can follow tradition. Make everyone comfortable. Live the life that's expected. Get approval, avoid conflict, keep the peace. And maybe that'll be enough. Maybe you'll be one of the rare people who genuinely aligns with every expectation. It happens. But if you're not, if there's a voice inside you saying this isn't me, if you're reading this script and feeling seen, then you already know what you need to do. You need to choose truth. Even if it's scary. Even if it disappoints people. Even if it means walking a harder path. Because the only thing worse than living without your family's approval is living without your own. The only thing worse than disappointing them is betraying yourself. The only thing worse than breaking tradition is breaking your own spirit trying to fit into it. Truth or tradition? It's the oldest human conflict. And it's yours to decide. But whatever you choose, make sure it's your choice. Not theirs. Not society's. Not culture's. Yours. Because this is your one life. And you're the only one who has to live it. If this video resonated with you, if you've been struggling with truth versus tradition, subscribe to Truth Inside Us. We're building a community of people choosing authenticity over expectation. Drop a comment, are you living your truth or someone else's? What traditions are you struggling to break free from? Let's talk about it. You're not alone in this. And share this with someone who needs permission to be themselves. Someone caught between who they are and who they're supposed to be. Sometimes all we need is to know someone else gets it. Because choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. I'll see you in the next one. Choose yourself. You're worth it.